All right, let's dive into something that really gets to the core of how we connect with each other. Why do we like the people we like? Now, you probably think you have a pretty good handle on this, but I'm telling you, the science behind it is way more surprising and honestly a little contradictory. Have you ever had this happen? You meet someone new, there's that spark, right? That awesome feeling of potential. But then, as you actually get to know them, it just fades. It feels totally backward, doesn't it? I mean, shouldn't knowing more about a person make you like them more? Well, it turns out the science on this is pretty fascinating. So here's what we're going to do. First, we'll look at the classic, established science of how to get people on your side. Then, we're going to throw a wrench in the works with a paradox that flips that science completely upside down. We'll dig into why knowing less can actually be a good thing, and then we'll put all the pieces back together to figure out how to build connections that actually last.
Okay, let's start with the basics. For decades, psychology has had a pretty clear playbook on what makes people tick, and, more importantly, what makes them like us.
And at the heart of that playbook is Dr. Robert Cialdini's legendary liking principle. It's so simple but so powerful. We're just more likely to say yes to people we know and like. Think about it. Our brains are totally overloaded every single day, so we use liking as this quick mental shortcut to decide who to trust, who's on our team. It's basically the human operating system for connection.
So how does it all work? Well, Cialdini broke it down into 6 key drivers. We like people who are similar to us, who share our interests. We like people who praise us, compliments work. We like people we cooperate with on a team. We also like things through association, like when a cool celebrity endorses something. There's the whole physical attractiveness thing, where we just assume good-looking people are also good people. And finally, there's familiarity, the idea that the more you see someone, the more you like and trust them. It all sounds right, doesn't it? But what if that last one is completely wrong?
And that, my friends, is where we get to the twist. What if the real saying isn't familiarity leads to liking, but that other, much more cynical one, familiarity breeds contempt? This lyric just hits it perfectly, doesn't it? It nails the heart of this paradox. When we first meet someone, our brain kind of fills in the gaps with all this positive stuff. We project our own hopes onto them. And from a distance, they can seem, well, perfect. But what happens when we zoom in and all those little details start to appear? And here is the bombshell. Research from a team at Harvard completely blew this old idea out of the water. Their work suggests that even though we think learning more about someone is going to make us like them more, the exact opposite is usually true. On average, the more you learn, the less you like. So what in the world is going on here? So the reason for this totally counterintuitive effect comes down to this really powerful psychological process. It turns out our brains are practically wired to hunt for differences, and once we find one, it sets off a chain reaction. You can see this whole paradox play out so clearly in the real world. Just look at this study on online daters. So after a first date, of course, the amount of stuff they knew about each other went up. That makes sense. But here's the kicker. Their liking for that person and how similar they felt to them both went down. The data is undeniable. More information actually led to less of a connection. This whole thing is caused by something called the dissimilarity cascade. Okay, picture this. You're on a date, and you find out the other person likes their pizza with pineapple. Now, that's just one tiny point of difference. But now, your brain is on high alert, looking for more evidence for its new theory that, hey, we're not that alike. And all of a sudden, their taste in movies, or the way they laugh, things that you might have just ignored before, they now become glaring proof that you're totally different. It's like a snowball effect, where one little difference starts rolling downhill and just gets bigger and bigger. Okay, so now we've got these two totally conflicting ideas, right? Cialdini says familiarity is good, but this new research says it's bad. So who's right? Well, they both are. And the key is figuring out the difference between genuine connection and just, seeing someone around a lot. Cialdini actually gives us this brilliant way to think about it. He says we should act like a detective, not a smuggler. A detective, you see, does the hard work. They uncover real, actual similarities that were already there. They find those genuine points of connection. A smuggler, on the other hand, just fakes it. They make up common interests and give you empty compliments. Now, that might work for a minute, but in the long run, it completely shatters trust because it's not real. So here it is. Here is how we solve the paradox. We have to understand that there are two totally different kinds of familiarity. On one side, you have mere exposure. This is Cialdini's world. It's about seeing the same person at the coffee shop every day. It's brief, low-information contact that just builds a sense of comfort. But on the other side, you have deep familiarity. And that's what the Harvard research was about. This is when you're getting all those specific details about someone. And that's where the danger is. That's where you risk starting that dissimilarity cascade. So at the end of the day, the goal isn't just to be liked. It's to find what you could call authentic resonance. It's about building connections that are actually grounded in real stuff, in genuine, uncovered similarities. It means being that detective, asking good questions, really listening, and searching for those true points of common ground instead of just waiting for your turn to talk. It's how you turn a quick interaction into a real, lasting relationship. And that really leaves us with the big question, doesn't it? In this world where everyone is oversharing everything all the time, finding that balance is the real art of connection. How do you share just enough to build that real bond without revealing so much that the perfect person we saw from far away starts to fall apart up close? That right there is the tightrope we all have to walk. Thanks for watching.